Next one up in Unit 2 on page 129 in the notes there, and you remember you'll find the notes in the description to the video. So if you're on the platform, on the right hand side you'll see a description of the video and you'll find a link to the notes in there. So skills and characteristics, we looked at the trends in the ABQ, came up last year obviously as part of the ABQ, but it also came up as part of a short question the previous year, which is just one of the other reasons why I think they might move away from it this year. So entrepreneurship and reasons become much more important. But yeah, still important to cover it off because, like I said previously, if they use one part of Unit 2 for the ABQ and they still keep another part and use it for question 5, there's not many options, right? So you need to know the whole unit pretty well. So skills and characteristics could be a short question, could be question 5, or it could be the ABQ. And look, there might be no Unit 2 part to question 5. It might just all be Unit 3. Now, what do you need to know? You need to know the skills and characteristics, but the ones I'm providing here, so I said to you there, I said skills and characteristics came up as part of the ABQ last year, but it came up part of a short question the previous year in 2023. If you look at the marking scheme for that 2023 question, these are the ones they're accepting. So these are the ones I'd always start with because this is the smallest list and looks like the most consistent across marking schemes for a very common question where the marking scheme has changed a lot over the years, right? So I would start looking for these. So if it's question 5, I'd give these, but if it's the ABQ, I'd start by looking for evidence of these in the text. So you can just, that's the sentence to help you remember. So really, I don't care. Really, I don't really care, Amy. So or ID or CA, where or is resilient, I is innovative, D is decisive, or is risk-taking, C there is confident, and A there is ambitious. So I would start with these, and as always, as much as possible, should be trying to work in keywords. It's a little bit harder with this because it's not, I suppose, very theoretical, but should still be trying to work in the key things, particularly around risk-taking and mentioning to take a personal and the financial risk. But like I said, last year's ABQ, they accepted a way bigger list they accepted loads of skills and characteristics. So if it does crop up in the ABQ, let the text guide you a little bit. So you'll see that human relations isn't mentioned here because human relations, it's actually a lot of the time for marking schemes on long questions or, in short questions in 2023, it's not on there, but it was for last year's ABQ. So let the text guide you a little bit. But I'd start off with these ones. So resilience, entrepreneurs can overcome setbacks and work around obstacles. They see failure as an opportunity to learn. Innovative and creativity come together, so don't give them separately. So they come up with new ideas and ways of doing things. Decisive, they have to make decisions under pressure is the thing I'd be leaning into there. And they have the ability to analyze the consequences of their decision. With risk taking, remember, always working to take a personal and financial risk. They are realistic risk takers, so they're able to assess risk and see if they're worth pursuing rather than just jumping into things. They're confident, so they have self-belief and conviction. Don't use confidence to explain confident. They're not put off by failure. And the last one, they are ambitious, right? So you have that keyword grid on the next page with those. But I've also thrown in here on the keyword grid some of the ones that were on last year's ABQ. So we've added in future focused and human relations because they were there last year on the ABQ. So future focus thing there you want to say is that they can identify future trends and they can spot gaps in the market. And for human relations, they have good ability to communicate, negotiate with stakeholders and convince others of their opinion. So as always with this stuff, you can pause the video now, work on the keyword grid, work on replicating what's here. Got a mini whiteboard, that's brilliant. Write out the heading and the associated key things over and over again, commit them to memory, and then jump into the question, which is on the next page. So the question here, this is just a sample long question. So question 4, which is now question 5 because of the extra question. You're given a little bit of info about John and Patrick Collison. And the question says, outline the characteristics and skills you'd associate with entrepreneurs, 20 marks. So using our general rule of 5, so assuming that things come in banks of 5 marks, you have to give 4 skills and characteristics, 5 marks each. 2 marks for stating it and 3 marks for explaining it. So 2 marks for stating, 3 marks for explaining. Now, interestingly, it didn't mention, usually when you get this, usually when you get a little intro blurb like that, you're going to see in the question something about Stripe in this case. You're going to see something about the business in the question, the people in the question. It didn't happen here. It said skills and characteristics that you would associate with entrepreneurs in general. It didn't say that you would associate with John and Patrick Collison. But if it did, you would have to mention them in your answer, right? You would have to mention them in your answer. So there's your sample answer. 4 of the skills and characteristics stated and explained. 2 marks for stating, 3 marks for explaining. But definitely I would start off with that list and add in future focused and human relations and look for evidence of them in the ABQ text if you can't find all of these.